The Secretary will read the order of the day.
Debate on Youth Day, progressively implementing the Freedom Charter by advancing our collective efforts for sustainable national youth development by 2030.
Honorable Deputy Minister
Honourable
and the Presidency.
Honourable Deputy Speaker. Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Yeah, oh, yes, sir.
I'm rising on a point of order.
Yeah, what's the point of order, sir?
Honourable Deputy Speaker, the debate today is a joint sitting to commemorate Youth Day. It is not a party motion and it's not a member motion. It's a debate on behalf of Parliament of South Africa. Because of that, we had a discussion in the Chief Whip's Forum in which we indicated that the topic of today's debate is partisan. I understand that the Freedom Charter means a lot to the ruling party and to some other parties as well. But the fact of the matter is, Honourable Deputy Speaker, it is a political document which do not represent necessarily the views of all the members and parties in South Africa. Because we understand the importance of the Freedom Charter, we were reasonable and we suggested in the discussion that other things be included, like the Constitution, like the National Development Plan. Despite our request in that regard, it was simply ignored and we are debating a party political document of the ruling party. I think it's unfortunate. I think it's wrong. It sends the wrong message. This is a joint sitting celebrating Youth Day. It's not a party members or a member statement for today. Thank you.
Honourable members, the point is noted. That matter was discussed in the programming committee this morning. If the meeting didn't arrive at a different view, we proceed. Honourable Chief Whip.
We noted the concern of all parties that they feel offended by the Freedom Charter. However, it was too late for us to change the topic because it's a joint sitting. I really don't shout at you when you speak. I listen to you.
Order, honourable members. Order.
We agreed that after this debate, because the joint between us and NCOP, after it we will bring the Freedom Charter into this house for this house to adopt it formally.
Honourable members. Order. Honourable
Deputy Speaker.
Yes, sir.
I want to make it very, very clear.
What point are you rising on, sir?
I'm writing on the same point of order that you allowed the Chief Whip to rise on.
Yes, talk about it.
It's to deal with the topic here. We certainly did not come to an agreement that the Freedom Charter be brought here for adoption. The Democratic Alliance placed on record, again at the Programming Committee meeting, there was supposed to be a bilateral afterwards. But that bilateral consisted of us being told that too tough luck, it can't be changed. I do, however, want to say, and I want it on record again, because this is also something that's been raised consistently, that once again, look at around you at the joint sitting today. This is how seriously joint sittings are taken, and I want that borne in mind again when we program joint sittings. The attendance here is less than 30%.
Honourable Manamela.
Deputy Speaker, honourable members, every year we commemorate the radical actions that were undertaken by the youth of June 16, 1976 to remind ourselves of the innate power that young people have to change the world, to confront the circumstances that keeps them shackled in chains, denying them their freedom, and to celebrate the role that they played in awakening the struggle against apartheid. This year is no different. The youth are moving South Africa forward. We do this because our history and our youth matters in making us realize the potential our country possesses to be a great and united nation that will never repeat the ugliness of the apartheid system that the world knew us of. The commemoration of June 16, led by young giants such as Sietsi Mashinini, Khotso Seatlulo, Mafi Morobe, Seth Mazibuko, Billy Masetla, Supa Muloi, Daniel Munsisi, Sibongile Mthembu Mkhabela, Paul Langa, Hector Peterson, and many others should forever remain a motivation to thousands of young people that they hold their destiny in their own hands and no one will liberate them. Their efforts have been paid off by the election of a democratic government that cares for its youth and have placed at the center of his program youth development. Daily negative messaging cannot refute the evidence that that the life of a young person born 21 years ago in 1994 is better off than those who were born before. Unlike their parents, they are not required to carry passes around, are not forced to learn substandard education in a language imposed on them, are recipients of a decent meal in school, have a prospect of going to a TVET college or university fully funded by the state, will not be forced to leave certain areas at certain times through influx control, and have, theoretically, an equal chance to make it in life. As the ANC, we do not, however, regard these young people as being born free, because the shackles that bound their parents are still imprinted in their life and will take generations and effort to change, instead of mere one-liners and quotable rabble-rousing quotes, as some would want us to believe. This administration has taken the needs, interests, and aspirations of young people to heart, and thus President Jacob Zuma has placed the task of youth development in his office and has made it the responsibility of each and every national government department, local and provincial, and all state agencies to put youth development at the center of their work. Last year, when we commenced with the consultations that led to the National Youth Policy 2020, a young girl from Diepsloot Secondary School shouted from the back of the hall, protesting against the economization of the challenges of young people. She protested that not all young people aspire all these fancy things that their leaders and their parents have been talking about. She declared that all what teenagers her age want to do is to play. By playing, she implied that she wants to be a musician, an artist, or a sporting athlete. She wants to have the freedom to play netball or chess in a safe environment where she would not be a potential victim of rape, where she would not be a potential victim of rape or be induced into a life of prostitution, drugs, or alcohol. By playing, she meant that she wants to be given an opportunity and facilities for recreations so that she does not become another statistic among the millions infected by HIV/AIDS or be pregnant at an early age, dependent to some sugar daddy. We want to play, she declared. And by this, she saw herself in a classroom having equal resources like any other young person in the country, irrespective of their color or gender, and being able to succeed without objective conditions limiting her own development. When she said that she wants to play, she meant that she wants access to books through a library so that she can read and open up a new world full of possibilities and as seen through the eyes of the writer. Or to flip through the books of history and learn about Mandela, Gandhi, Verwoerd, and Suzman, and the role that they've played to make this history better or worse. Playing to her meant that she wants equal opportunities to acquire skills and knowledge about a trade or becoming an entrepreneur so that she breaks the cycle of poverty that binds her to a family or her community. She wanted access to information and technology that will allow her to socially interact with her peers, to understand their culture, their perspective, their language, their history, their food, and to know where they are from and connect with them as human beings and not see them as people from across the border. She probably saw herself as the future captain of Banyana Banyana or as a senior executive of a mining company that will contribute in building a prosperous society. The freedom to play in this way that the Diepsloot girl dreamt is the freedom that Hector Peterson and many others sacrificed or were denied. They had no other freedoms except the limited ones that were served on the platter of white minority rule. Hector and many others could not be quite stars or score runs on the cricket field because the law did not permit. Thus, freedom, or the freedom we should think of for the youth of this country, should be the freedom to play, to dream, and to be able to pursue or realize those dreams, irrespective of their color or gender. The main intention of the National Youth Policy 2020 is exactly that, to allow young people to be able to realize their potential by providing them with a hand up to eradicate the hurdles that were imposed by our history and to use state power to develop their lives for the better. But the Diepsloot girl also understands that this freedom to play came with enormous responsibilities and that she could not waste her future overindulging in her rights without taking responsibility for her action. And those who were born in 1994 comprehend that what it means to have access to education. They also understand that they have the responsibility to study hard and pass. If they are given a study loan or a bursary, not only do they have a responsibility to work for their country, but also to contribute back into the National Student Financial Aid Scheme so that more students have access to further and higher education.
On the point of order.
Yes, what's your point of order, sir?
Deputy Speaker, my apologies for having to stop the session before it continues. Our speakers from the NCOP are not in the speakers list there. When we tell the chief whip of the NCOP that they must include our speakers there, she says she can't do it. We understand that you are majority here, but don't abuse us. All of us here have got the right to speak in this parliament. When there's a joint sitting, there must be representatives of all political parties, not of one political party only. Can we please deal with that immediately, urgently, before we proceed with anything so that all of us contribute to this debate?
Honorable Shivambo, please go and attend to that thing outside of this meeting.
No, sorry.
The
No, we're
House,
from there. She's refusing. She says we can't do it there.
yeah. No, please do that. You can't do that here in the House. Proceed, Honorable Manamela.
House Chair, sorry, Deputy Speaker, it is very much a matter of privilege and we must deal with it in this House. Our speakers are being denied the opportunity to participate in the debate and the manner in which they are represented in that legislature. Now, that is a very serious matter. It's the first time this has ever happened in a joint debate. And frankly, it is a matter for you to deal with as a presiding officer.
No,
it's
you-
not something we're going to go and sit outside and have to beg for our constitutional right to be represented in the NCOP. So I'm not going to beg for that.
No.
And I would like a ruling from you, sir. I would like a ruling from you, sir.
The ruling is that members go and resolve that matter. Both, all whips who are here, you will go and resolve it outside. It's a bad precedent, and I do not agree with you that this matter must be. I'm giving instructions that members in the whip must go and resolve it. Don't come in here if it's not resolved.
Deputy Speaker, we're from outside.
Yes, do it now.
And a person who represents the ANC is saying that we cannot include names there. What kind of constitution, what kind of parliament is this?
I request
Where
you,
only one political party
honorable
wants to
members,
speak here.
please go outside and deal with this matter. Proceed, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Our rights.
Order.
Deputy Chair. Deputy
What?
Speaker,
Yeah.
do you think that we should continue while our members...
Yes, honorable member, yes. Please take your seat.
This debate.
Yes, we are proceeding. Sit down, honorable member. Yes, honorable member, we are proceeding. Proceed, honorable Manamela.
Our rights, as enshrined in the Constitution, our right to life, to health, to work, our right to do business, our right to an education, our right to sports and recreation, and various other liberties come with huge responsibilities. These responsibilities include making a contribution towards a united, non-sexist, non-racist, and democratic society. A future South Africa where we all live together with total disregard of our race or gender. The Presidential Working Group on Youth represents a giant step by the President to take further work that has been done for the last 21 years to change the quality of life of young people and allow them to play. This Presidential Working Group, together with a task team of 17 deputy ministers, will not only ensure that the National Youth Policy is implemented, but will also ensure that youth development becomes the business of everyone in government, in civil society, in business, and in all our communities. We have listened to young people through the consultative processes of the National Youth Policy 2020, who called upon government to accelerate action in terms of jobs, education, skills development, support, for youth businesses and the fight against drugs and substance abuse. Thus, the Presidential Working Group on Youth have instructed us to accelerate the implementation of the Youth Employment Accord and many other government policies in responding to the challenges facing young people. In this regard, we will immediately be targeting the finalization of the National Youth Service Framework and seek to recruit more than 1 million young people into a national youth service within the next 2 years. We will lobby for additional funding for youth businesses and cooperatives as an add-on to the 2.7 billion allocated by the IDC and CIFA together with the National Youth Development Agency. We will work with business to ensure that more young people are exposed to workplace skills programs, internships, and also review the progress made through the Youth Employment Incentive in order to ensure that we take care of the more than 240,000 unemployed graduates. We will work with young people to protect our communities, our schools, and our universities, and playgrounds, and streets, and bring to book criminals who traffic drugs in these areas. But in the overall, we will be mobilizing young people to get involved, to take action and change South Africa for the better, and not be passive bystanders waiting for this to happen for us. We've also listened to them when they demand a change in the manner in which the NYDA operates and provide youth development services. And in this regard, for the first time in years, the NYDA has received an unqualified audit from the Auditor General. The new NYDA board has taken the services of the NYDA to young people by opening more than 240 local youth offices nationally, which in the last financial year has served 1.2 million young people, with the prospects of more offices being opened in this financial year, including the office that we're opening this Saturday in Gauteng in El Dorado. They have provided 29 million in grant funding to more than 1,043 young people, yielding more than 4,347 direct jobs. And for us, this is hope in action. Through the voucher program, the NYDA has empowered and uplifted more than 62,000 young entrepreneurs in the last financial year and have given career guidance to close to 1 million young people countrywide. And for us, this is hope in action. Close to 4,000 young people got a second chance last year after having failed their matric, were integrated into the NYDA's second chance program. And today, their lives will be changed for the better. And for us, this is hope in action. 300 more are beneficiaries of the NYDA Solomon Mahlangu Scholarship Program, which was launched by the President. And many more will be covered through initiatives of partnering with the private sector in this regard. And for us, this is hope in action. And all of this will be expanded with the additional 37 million that will be saved from the reorganization of the NYDA, which will be implemented from the beginning of July. The NYDA indeed remains a catalyst for youth development and has restored hope through action in the lives of millions of young people. And it is thus that we will never ever listen to people who say that the NYDA should be closed down because it has reached out to more young people than some of the political parties that are represented in this House. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, 1 in 3 young people are unemployed. Yes, more than 2.5 million young people are idling and not economically active. Yes, teenage pregnancy and drugs and alcohol abuse remain a scary statistics. Yes, more and more young people are trapped in the poverty cycle that has given birth by long years of the ugliness of the apartheid system. These are the issues that gives us sleepless nights and motivate us to do more together with the youth of our country. We are inspired that although some may prophesize gloom and doom at the end of the horizon, we see hope in the eyes of the youth, and that at the end they too will be able to play in the sunshine, just as the little girl from Deep Slot dreams to. And to the millions of young people out there, we say to you, uzoyithola kanjani mawuhlele khoneni. Join in the action. Let us change South Africa. Let us move our country forward. I thank you.